tracing thoughts of me, somewhere above these pounding waves of the sea. A thrill like that pulls us through the dark, a broken heart that is waiting to be.
My life is calling, the place we belong. Lose myself in you, you were there all along.
You light the way, away, away, away. You light the way, away, away, away. And we can dance through the storm and together awake in the dawn. Away, away, away. When a reason can't be found and all is lost, when the fog is falling and it's blinding us,
I bred a light that pulls us through the dark, a broken heart
that is waiting to be. Light the way, away, away, away. You light the way, away, away, away. And we can dance through the.
Fish really quiet. It's a very, very simple chorus. It's everything comes from above except our love. And everything depends on the love, on it. Here we go. Everything comes from above except our love. And everything depends on it, depends on it, depends on it. Everything comes from above except our love. And everything depends on it, depends on it, depends on it. One is much, one that's little, 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 little. As long as you wear your heart at the middle, 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 middle. There must be some kind of higher guidance.
All through tonight's exercise, and I wish each of you could just reach in and take out some of this heat or even fire. And I'm sure you all have that same kind of feeling.
Welcome to our Ultimate Retreat preparation event. Today we're going to have a very special event. It might look like I'm alone here, but I'm actually surrounded by friends, including Leo, who's out of frame, and many friends on the panel here in Zoom joining with us. We have, seems like we have a tech problem to show everyone right now, but we have a, no, we don't. There we go. We have a Gal, Tony, Sagar, David, Dree, Ella, Tom, Ruth, Danielle, and Alex. Everyone here, by the way, we have, even in our graduate environment in KabU, I'll explain what that is in a second, we have even cancelled all our lessons for this time period right now, what's called the young group sessions, and that's who you're seeing mostly here, people who are both instructors and teams and staffs, everyone voluntarily putting in their efforts to be part of that young group, and they all came here because this retreat is something coming up that involves everyone here at KabU. And why is that the case? Because here we teach the wisdom of Kabbalah, and in the wisdom of Kabbalah, it's a wisdom of connection, a method of connection. It's something that's very unique about this wisdom or method from all other methods, because specifically here in the wisdom of Kabbalah, what's been taught ever since the time of Abraham, it's all about attaining the upper force, the source force of our lives, what the Kabbalists have called the creator, nature, God. It's been given many names, but this force, which created us, which sustains us, which has taken care of every detail in order to ultimately bring us to a very special sensation of pleasure, fulfillment, enjoyment, happiness, however you want to describe all the positive and harmonious sensations we can have. It precisely did that by us resembling its quality. And that's something very unique in the wisdom of Kabbalah. When we're talking about attaining something like spirituality, we're specifically talking about attaining this quality of the Creator, a quality of love and bestowal. And that's why we're talking about connection, because how do we connect to that quality of love and bestowal? Precisely by trying to emulate that quality. And how do we emulate that quality? What, to some abstract things? Do we do it to some matter here, like some table that's in front of me, or to some vegetation, or to some animals? No, those will get taken care of if we take care of it at the human level. And precisely at the human level, society, other people, that's where we can exercise this quality of love and bestowal, and that's exactly where everything in this method comes together. And that's why we put on such events as retreats or conventions, sometimes we call them, or congresses. In short, gatherings where many people who are students of Kabbalah, friends of Kabbalah, they meet together and try to emulate that very connection, that very love and bestowal, that spiritual quality towards each other that brings upon connection, and which also, by doing so, and this is also a unique thing here, that by trying to emulate that quality of love and connection, love and bestowal between us, and developing that connection and working on it, we draw the forces from that very place that we call Creator, nature, God. We draw those forces into that connection, and we start experiencing very sublime things. And that's why we place so much importance on events like these retreats, because it's precisely these kinds of events that allow this force to come in a much more intensive way, in a much more focused way, in a much more clear way, in a way that can be felt much more clearly and really to the point, when many people with even just a small cup of desire for spirituality come, and when they put that cup into this common pot, so we are able to draw that force in very immense ways. And that's why we open this retreat up to everyone. If we can just go to slide 2 of the slideshow, Barak's in the tech room over there. So this isn't a diagram of the upper worlds or anything special. This is actually a diagram of where the KabU Retreat fits into what we teach here. Because I mentioned as well here that there's a young group, and you might be thinking, what's that? You know, what's KabU even? That YT and FB might be where you are now, watching this particular broadcast on YouTube and Facebook. And if you continue with your studies, so we have what's called a study path, or now we call it the Kabbalah journey. It's a specific journey through various courses that we have, KR1, KR2, that's Kabbalah Revealed 1 and 2. That's where we study basic concepts and fundamental principles of Kabbalah. Then Kabbalah in Action and Kabbalah Experience, that's KA and KE over there. So that's further courses that we have in KabU, where we get more into the principles of connection and of working with other people who have common desires for spirituality. And then that all leads to GE, which is what's called the graduate environment, where people have gone through these courses and graduate. And then there's many classes there, many opportunities to further connect. And in that graduate environment, people can join what's called the young groups, where you actually form into small groups, what we call tens in the wisdom of Kabbalah, 10, and exercise this method of connection. And there's also that KabU strip there that you can see. That's also many courses within KabU that also teach these things in a, you could say, in a less structured way, that people can come in and just enjoy the smorgasbord of wisdom that's there. And within all of this process, you see all of these arrows point to KabU Retreat, because really anywhere you are in this journey, whether you're just connected on YouTube and Facebook, if you haven't connected to KabU at all, or whether you're in any one of those courses or in that KabU membership level, or in the graduate environment, or in the young groups there at more advanced levels, really the KabU Retreat can be enjoyed by everyone. That's specifically why I went to all this effort to make this diagram, just to show you very clearly that everyone at any stage can enjoy coming to a KabU retreat and getting something from it. We've had people who've read just a few pages of a book and then turned to the end of the book, saw the Kabbalah.info website link, and they went there and saw the retreat advertised and came to the retreat and had an amazing experience. There's all kinds of people. So before we go on, I'm going to look forward to me speaking a lot less from this point on. I do want to just show one or two excerpts about how the wisdom of Kabbalah is a method of connection. But before that, I'll also just mention a couple of more, you could say, technical things. If you're at all considering joining the retreat and you haven't registered yet, really today is the best time to do it, because tomorrow the early bird pricing finishes. So the price already goes up considerably tomorrow. It's $100 cheaper right now if you register in person for the retreat. If you want to go physically, it's going to be at Catskills Mountains in New York. So if you can attend physically, that's great. If not, it's also available virtually. So anyone who cannot attend physically, the virtual option's a great option. Also, virtual's a great option if you've just never been to a retreat before. You might live far away from that area and you just want to get a taste of what it is. And virtual, it's already much cheaper. And if you register for early bird, it's $49 for the virtual ticket. So that's something definitely. Is it $49?
I think so.
I don't want to say something now that misses it. All right, let's just confirm that. No, sorry, it's $99. It's $149 for the regular, and it's $99 for early bird, so I saved it there. But together with all that, you get a coupon code. There's a coupon code in the description and in the chat now of this very video. If you use that coupon code when you check out, you'll get an additional 20% off the price. And that's something I also need to check. 10%, an additional 10% off the
Basically,
price.
the sooner we register, the better the discount.
20% sounds better, but you get, basically, we're talking about discounts within discounts here. So I just wanted to make that very clear to you. So use that, take advantage of that code. You have it in the chat and in the description. And just before we move on, because before we get into this event, what we're actually going to get into in this event, Leo here, as well as being one of the instructors for the young group that's here, he's also one of the content managers of the retreat. Tony is too. We have a wide panel here, which, as I said, I'm looking forward to them speaking a lot more than me soon. So just before we get into all that, we just want to really nail home this point before we get into some more things about the schedule and what's going on at the retreat itself. Really about how connection is part of the wisdom of Kabbalah. It's really the key aspect that brings the wisdom of Kabbalah together. And also how the KabU Retreat really then becomes a vital aspect of the actual method itself. Because it mightn't seem clear to someone, especially with all the misconceptions about Kabbalah in the world, that it might be connected to all kinds of things from black magic all the way through to meditation and all kinds of things. Here we specifically talk about attaining that upper force of love and bestowal, that creator, that God, that nature, that ultimate force, through emulating that force, through emulating that quality in the connection between us and drawing it to ourselves by doing so. So if we just go to slide 3, we'll read an excerpt now by Kabbalist Dr. Michael Laitman, the main teacher and founder here at the B'nai Baruch Kabbalah Education Research Institute. He writes that the creator is the only force that works in reality. In order to discover this, it is necessary to connect and reach equivalence of form with this force. And this is discovered in us specifically through love of others, just as one loves oneself. We gradually acquire love, and so the higher power is also gradually discovered. This means that the means that make it possible for us to discover the higher force through connection is called Kabbalah. Yeah, that's what Kabbalah is, discovering the higher force through connection. By definition, the wisdom of Kabbalah is a method for revealing the Creator to the created beings in this world. He, the Creator, is discovered to the degree that one takes on equivalence with his characteristics, bestowal and love. We'll leave it there for now, and if we just quickly go to slide 5. So we're going to run a workshop now. This is actually something that takes place at the retreat a lot. We have these workshops where similar to a mini version of what we just went through now, we learned a little bit of a concept. We read an excerpt from the sources about it. And now we're going to go around and have a discussion about what we just talked about. So everyone here in the panel will emulate what this workshop is. There's many aspects of the workshop. Actually, when you get to that Kabbalah in action and Kabbalah experience level of what we talked about earlier, so you actually learn a lot more of how this workshop is actually also an emulation of that upper form that we attained through the connection between us, but we'll get into that later. But that's what we'll discuss now. How is a KabU retreat a key aspect of the method of Kabbalah? Let's start with Leo, and then we'll take it around to the Zoom.
How much time do we have?
Huh?
How much time?
Got like another hour 15,
All right, okay.
but not
So
for this question.
I should be able to fit it in. How is a KabU retreat a key aspect of the method of Kabbalah? I'll speak about this particular retreat because we wanted to dive more specifically into the idea of coming out of yourself. And everything that we do in the wisdom of Kabbalah helps us draw the light, the reforming light, and that light works on a person and raises them above their natural state, the egoistic state, the will to receive. In order to receive that one-sided view of the world, of reality, it takes me out of myself, closer to the upper force, and it makes me feel the upper force more. And to do it, as Marcus said, I want to try to emulate these characteristics. And if the Creator is bestowing and giving and caring and doesn't think about himself, but only thinks how to bestow and how to see the creatures rise and approach him, if I make these same efforts, I also get closer to the Creator. And the retreat is a great place to do it because it's an environment where you can put all your effort in that. There's no distractions. There's nothing that will disturb you, prevent you from really applying yourself in full and really making an effort for 3 days to think of others, to want for them, and to meet the resistance within you that naturally prevents you from succeeding. But it's a place where you can find endless opportunities to do just that, to come out of yourself toward the other. Igal?
Thanks, Daniel. Retreat is absolutely necessary, and it's the culmination of our efforts. And over the years, it's a given that you need the retreat to actually consolidate everything, to put everything into its place. We study, and then at the end of the day, you need to feel it in your heart. And this is felt in the heart after efforts, like Elio said. Coming to the retreat gives you this opportunity to exert and give this effort. And in this effort, this vessel, this desire that we build, you have scrutinies that you can never have otherwise. And it's a given. I've experienced it over and over again over the years. You come to a retreat, and all of a sudden, something just pops into your heart, something pops into you in your understanding. Where it came from, no idea. And the way you feel is like, well, it's always been around. People were always talking about it. Instructors were talking about it. Rob was talking about everything. And then, wow, it's real. It's actually, I know now, I can feel it. Not talk about it theoretically. I can feel it. It pops into your heart. So retreat is absolutely necessary to embed it into your heart, to actually feel it. Because Kabbalah, at the end of the day, is a methodology of feeling it in your heart. And just, you can't do otherwise. You will never learn it enough. You can spend hours and hours learning. You got to feel it. And that happens at the retreat. Thank you, friends. Who's next?
I'll go. I'll go. Many of the things that we learn when you first presented to them, somebody talks about it or we read it in a text, we know we want it, but it really, compared to all of our experience up to that point, that just seems desirable but impossible. But in the retreat, what you get is a model, contained model of a world that makes clear at every turn the purpose of our existence and support for that purpose. And you see that these things that seem abstract are really something that can be built as a perception, as a complete way of life, as peace and as wholeness. Things far away now become like the creator in your neighborhood. And it lifts us and it fills us with confidence and hope, and it brings it very, very close to us. All we really have to do is relate to each other, listen to each other, open our hearts to each other, and in this framework, we naturally attract this light, because that's all that we're doing in this new world that we're entering. Dree?
Yeah, I think the retreat kind of plants like this strong impression. And when things get a little crazy in life and things get difficult, you can kind of refer back to that and draw the strength from these experiences in this retreat. And it gives strength in those moments, remembering the things that you revealed and experienced in those times. Danielle?
Yeah, indeed, the retreat is really special because all friends with the same desires come to one place, which attract, of course, lots of light. And that's really what you feel. It's like a really condensed place for connection where everything is accelerating what you learn. So it really, you really feel it. You can feel the connection more because we see each other lots of times on the screen, but now you can really feel the friends, you can feel the connection, you go through lots of stuff and it goes quicker because you are 3 days together. So it's a really special weekend. Tom?
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Yes, that's what's so special, that it's 3 days in a row without stop. So there's nowhere to hide. You just do what all the excerpts write to you, and you try to to live them together with all those other friends with the same goal. That's also a special thing, to be together with friends who have that special inclination, a beautiful goal. Yeah, that's a special thing I found about those retreats. Ruth?
I remember the first time I had the privilege to meet Tommy in Holland. It was the first retreat that was in Europe, I think. Yeah, they're very, very special. It's that's why all this massive team, they put so much importance and time and effort into creating these connection events. If you can participate even virtually, you really prepare yourself, you can get a lot. Even on, because spirituality isn't something physical; it's above the physical, and that's what's so special about these events. Because, like the friends already mentioned, Yeah, there's all these points in the heart are all gathering together, and everything that we studied, like in KabU, even if it just doesn't matter, like just just join this event, say on YouTube randomly or whatever. Nothing's random, but yeah, and then you're like, you got, oh wow, you got like a light bulb moment, and you're like, oh man, this sounds really good. I'm gonna go there. And there's just like these sparks of light that kind of connect together. It becomes very tangible. It's a very practical method. The studies and everything. It's very, very lofty. But when you go into an environment, that environment, special environment, especially for a few days, you really you can feel it. You get these impressions. They're like kind of like they go into your bones, into your soul, into your heart, into your stomach, like all over. Kind of like taking an internal mineral spring shower, something very special and very like Daniela, I think was Dre mentioned later. These impressions, you take them with you, they will boost you forward in your studies, and these moments, they will give you strength. But this is where it becomes really practical in gatherings like this, and that's why it's so much important is put into this effort, because this is where you get the real meat. It's like the meat time. So yeah. Okay, Sagar.
Hi, thanks. I would say that whatever we study as students through our instructors, we really materialize that in the retreats and conventions. And that is because when we go to either of these, as soon as we step in, we really start to feel what is the purpose of society. We start to feel how we are so diverse yet so connected, and we're really able to understand ourselves among all the other friends. And I think that's something that the world really needs. So it's an eye-opening moment the first time you go to a retreat, either physical or a virtual. It doesn't matter. But when you see your friends, when you meet with them, that's when I think the heart takes over and the mind stops working. Alex?
Thanks, Sagar. Yeah, well, we call this particular gathering a retreat, but there are many names for Kabbalist gatherings. We have conventions, we have congresses. You could think of this like really a spiritual festival or carnival, without all the external, fireworks, but very internal. And what makes this rare also is the frequency. So Kabbalists have gatherings. It could be, we have daily study, we have weekly, let's say meals, we have monthly, or during the holidays, we kind of orbit around various events. But the retreat or a congress like this, a convention like this happens annually. So it's a rare opportunity that we sort of orbit around the calendar, and it's an ancient tradition. It's a part of the method that Kabbalists were gathering physically, making a trek. For months, sometimes Kabbalists would travel, walking to meet their teacher and to gather together. Put all these three unique elements of having a teacher or the teacher's students, having guides, having all the books, and having that the group of like-minded seekers all in one place, having the teacher, the books, and the group really in one place. So this is that rare annual opportunity, that ancient tradition that Kabbalists really look forward to. David?
Thanks, Alex. I really liked what Marco said in the beginning, and I like that drawing that he showed on the screen. And the reason is it made me think about before I got on the path and how individual I thought spirituality was. I was doing my own thing. And then you start studying and you start learning and little by little realizing that this isn't an individual game, that it's all about connection. It's about connection between people. And then as you get more involved, he mentioned the grad environment and the young group. As you start connecting, then all of a sudden everything starts coming to life and starts opening up. The things that we read, all of a sudden you start going into the material starts popping out, and you go, wow, this is what's happening. So then we start always looking for ways to be more and more connected, like we're doing today. We got to have each other. We got to be connected. And we have things on the path that are called retreats, larger gatherings where we spend more time together so that we can even come closer together, so that we can reveal more of this divinity that exists between us. So, yeah, it's really a great thing that we're here and we have each other.
Ella.
Thank you, friends. After whatever you friends mentioned already, instructions, I probably don't have any more words about this, but I will tell my experience. I'm a bit of introvert, and I thought, oh my gosh, I will meet 100, 200 strangers. What should I do with them? It was a bit of exercise, but whoever is hearing right now, don't be afraid. You get to the waves, ocean, sea, I don't know how to explain it, of love. You just plane as a planet. You don't need to navigate, you don't need a motor, a diesel or whatever to do this. You are in hands of your friends, instructors, whoever's prepared everything, all of this. And somebody mentioned here that it does not matter virtual or physical. Whoever is had any small opportunity to come physically, I really recommend it to do. I came from, not from US, I came from another country, 8 hours drive, but really friends and bosses. Thank you.
Danielle, you want to add?
I spoke already.
No,
Yeah.
you spoke. Is that everyone? Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's really great. As you can see, that's an example of a workshop round, just taking a question, a little bit of material and going around, and you really start incorporating with this, everyone's little addition becomes a big, like we said, we bring all our little cups of desire for spirituality, where everyone has some small desire for spirituality, and we all bring it together, and then we form this big pot. And the more we go through this process more and more at a retreat, some really special phenomena start taking place.
One thing that, after hearing everyone speak, I just want to say one more thing to anyone who's thinking, yes, no, do I need it? I have my studies, I have my this, my that. The retreat, this is something I heard from Rav just a couple of months ago. The retreat gives you an experience like you've never had before, which in turn gives you perspective. If you don't allow yourself to experience sort of the ideal setup, what does it mean to try to connect, to be with other people, to draw the reforming light, to feel the changes inside of you, the resistance, to overcome, to do all those things, to feel what it's like to be a Kabbalist who's on a spiritual path, you will never have that other form to compare to when you go back to your regular life. When you just study a lesson, once a week, twice a week, a little bit here, a little bit there, the contrast is not enough. But the retreat really gives you a taste of these higher states. And that's something you can work with. You can start to scrutinize, you can start to compare, you can start to develop a desire for where I am now and where I want to be.
Yeah, thanks, Leo. We'll also go and watch a clip soon, but before that, I just want to mention that we have a little less than an hour left in this live session now, and what we're opening up right now is also, in addition to the 2 discounts I mentioned before, that it's the last day for the early bird discount. Actually, tomorrow is the last day for the early bird discount. It finishes on Monday at midnight Pacific time. That's the retreat website where you can register. But yeah, before heading to that, and we also mentioned that coupon code that's in the description and chat. We're going to give free retreat participation to one person who registers from now till the end of the event. We're going to draw that at the very end of the event. So just to give you some more impetus, if you register right now during this event, it's like a, I don't know, 3 or 4 minute process, depending on how far your credit card is. So if you register now until the end of the event, we'll draw one prize winner and they'll get the full refund on your retreat
I'll say
ticket.
the odds are really good.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. Okay, guys, whoever, if you're listening, if you're thinking, oh, I forgot to register, there's a good chance it could be you. So
yeah, usually we're drawing these things like one out of like up to a dozen or so people who've registered in that time frame. So yeah, you do have good odds if you do register now. So I'd say go for it, especially if you've never been to one. Even you can register virtually and connect to the virtual retreat for parts. It's really a great opportunity. And one other thing I'll mention, since you did show the retreat site, I wasn't actually going to mention this, but there's a couple of things here. If you go to the retreat site. Why doesn't it show the... here we go. Just today, we got the schedule up, so everyone who wants, they can look at it. Soon we're going to be relating to it. And at the bottom of the schedule page, you have this preparation material. It's something else we've also put together, where around all kinds of topics and concepts that will be discussed at the retreat. So you have here source excerpts from Kabbalists about each one, so you can go through them and read them and prepare. Soon Leo and Tony will explain a bit more to us about that. And another thing here at the site is if finances are, like, we want everyone who wants to go to the retreat, everyone who has a spiritual desire and really wants that participation. We don't want anything holding you up. So if finances are the only thing holding you back, we have this financial aid program. So you can go there and request help. If you have surplus funds as well and already want to give other people the opportunity, all that surplus goes into this financial aid. It's called financial aid on the website, but in slang terms we call it help a friend. It's the help a friend fund, meaning that it's friends who put in funds to help other friends. So if someone has what to give, so they can go there and give it, and it goes into that fund, and then other people who need it also receive from that fund. So that's another great thing you have here on the site too. So once again, if finances are the only thing holding you back, even with all the discounts and the possibility of getting a refund, etc. So you have this financial aid here as well. So we just wanted to mention that. And before we go and get more deep diving into the schedule and what's going on at the retreat itself, we'll just watch now a short clip of the main teacher here and the founder of B'nai Baruch, Kabbalist Dr. Michael Laitman, and he'll say a few words about how the wisdom of Kabbalah is a method of connection.
Studying the wisdom of Kabbalah, really, it's a method of connecting people, and this is what's missing. Through the right connection between us, we influence both human society and the environment, nature, the still vegetative and animate levels in our world. Through our balanced relationships, we can balance the whole of nature that's below us. That's our only weapon and the right solution. To come to the right kind of connection between us, to really be closer, more considerate. And the wisdom of Kabbalah explains how to do this. Unequivocally, we are controlled by the evil inclination, meaning our egos, which are burning in us, and we have to know how we find within nature a positive force to compensate for the negative force that's controlling us. And when these two forces are in balance, we'll come to the complete state. And then the world will be beautiful, and so will humanity, and we'll get to it for sure. But let's hope it doesn't happen in a difficult way.
Just with what I know. So Leo here, as I mentioned, is content manager, and also Tony. They're working round the clock, really. Lots of meetings, lots of things around their usual jobs and work. They're doing a lot to prepare this. What I know of what they're preparing is that the retreat is falling into 3 general categories that surround connection.
Three acts.
3 acts, yeah. One is higher states, that's something that we deal with and attain in the wisdom of Kabbalah. One is annulment, which is a very practical part of the method of connecting, and another one is devotion, yeah, which is also a very integral part. So I wanted to already give it over to Leo and hear what you have to say about it.
Sure. So we're not going to go block by block through the schedule. You have it on the website. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I want to point out a few key things, and Tony, feel free to jump in. We call the retreat the 3-day leap because this is something that we haven't said in the workshop, but because it's already a given, whenever we gather, there's an acceleration of what's happening. I mean, as a result of the intensity of the work, the quality as well as the quantity of people who gather, you draw a lot of the reforming light, and you can go through many states. You can advance quite a bit during the time frame of the retreat. So you can cover I don't want to make promises, but it could be months of studies over these 3 days, because again, the change is internal. It's not about information that you accumulate or boxes that you check. It's about changes in the desire. So that's the overall title. But what's actually going to happen in those 3 days is we're going to work on opening up higher states. Why higher? Because they are closer to the original force that created us, which is what Kabbalists consider to be the highest force in nature. Highest because it is the origin of us. It is above us. It precedes us. So whenever we advance toward that force, we climb up a ladder 125 degrees, and we go through these states. And the closer we manage to connect to each other, the higher we climb. It's sort of this work that closes the gap between us, also makes us rise up the degrees and attain these higher states. And they're very different than altered states that maybe you've heard about, maybe you've experienced yourselves, induced by all kinds of things. Those states are really like a taste of what it means to disconnect from the ego. Even if someone drinks some alcohol, that sensation that makes you, I feel a little freer. Yeah, you can trace it to a chemical reaction in the body, but really what happens behind the scenes is that you're a little disconnected from the will to receive and the calculations that it makes. And we are talking about an ascent up these states in a smooth, gentle, controlled manner, almost like you're on a plane and you control the throttle and you control the stick, and you're climbing, you're moving closer to the friends, and you're climbing up those states. Obviously, there's a method to it, and it's not just something that you decide to do and it happens, but in the retreat is something that we're working on. So the first act in the retreat, as Marcus said, is we're going to set the target on those higher states. What are those states? We're going to talk about that. We're going to open it up. What does it mean? What is the difference between these, let's call them corporeal, altered states that humanity has experienced throughout its existence, precisely to give us a hint at these upper states that exist. So what is the spiritual higher state, which is something that you can work towards without any external factor, chemical factors, just by working with your desire. So we're going to set our target on those states. We're going to define them, define the landscape of the work, and the way up to those states. That's what's going to happen in the first, let's say, Friday and some parts of Saturday. So we're going to learn about those states. We're going to talk about the path that leads us to that. We call it the path to the king's palace. All those names, they have all those connotations, but they're really just words Kabbalists use to try to paint a picture for us. So Igal is going to talk to us about the states we're going to go on, we're going to get through on this path, and why we're going to need each other for this, right? Because yeah, you may go through states of doubt and uncertainty, and you'll feel that you need the friends, which is a great feeling. It's something very, for some people, very new, to realize that you need other people and that you can actually rely on other people and also give that support to other people. Things that we were kind of, we became a little desensitized towards and even alienated from with all the screens. So here we're going to actually talk about this and map it out together. And we're going to end the first day with a very special night walk in nature. And in general, I want to say that we're trying to make, this is a comment that we got from past retreats, we want to try to incorporate the fact that we're in this nature setting as much as possible. So we're going to have sessions outside in nature, walk in nature, again, because nature is the closest picture that we have to a system that already works in some sense of balance. We're already disrupting this balance as humans, but you can still catch glimpses of this balance, of this harmony in nature. So it's a great reminder, it's a great inspiration. And we're going to go through that night walk and finish it with a usually very moving bonfire, I can say with certainty. Lots of music and coming together and sharing the experience. It's wonderful. Again, it sounds maybe simplistic on the surface, but it's once you go through the process, it gains a whole other dimension to it. And we continue to define these states and to taste them a little bit through the first half of Saturday as we go through our contemplation. We start every day with the individual contemplation, which Kabbalists used to do as well. First, I'm preparing myself. It's like an actor going on a stage. You got to set your intention, make sure you are ready for the day. You have what you need. You have your socks and your shoes. You're ready to walk through whatever the wet grass. Nothing will disturb you. So that's a contemplation, and you prepare yourself internally. Then we're going to have a morning walk, which is something, again, it's probably one of the best ways to prepare for the day, when we all walk together around the lake. And we're going to have a session in nature, just in the middle of the woods. We're going to sit together and talk about love of friends. One of those key ideas, because it's from love of friends to love of the Creator. It's from the connection with the friends to the connection with the higher force. And so it's going to be a very practical session right there in the woods. Of course, with our friends who are connected virtually, you will see everything, hear everything. I by now quite experienced in succeeding in conveying this experience to you as if you are there with us. So that much we promise. And we come back to another session that we call Mind Blown Session. I want to say a word about Mind Blown Sessions. Some of you know those. We have 3 of those in this retreat. In every retreat we have a few of those sessions. And those are, they're kind of like a TED Talk, okay? They're short, 15, 20 minutes, very concise, very intense, and they talk about that line or that space between the outside world and the world of Kabbalah, the world that the Kabbalists live in and describe in their writings, and the world that we have outside with its science and with society and everything. And those sessions help bridge that gap. So the next session is actually very nice, because it's as it is, 2025 is 100 years for the development of quantum physics. So we're going to see just how close quantum physicists are getting. They're making very, very slow steps toward some of the things that Kabbalists have been describing in the writings for thousands of years. Quantum physicists are now starting to reach the definition of the ceiling, the corporeal ceiling. So that's going to be given by Gianni, who's not here today, but he's gonna basically run the virtual sessions, and he's also going to run a few of the Mind Blown sessions. Later on Saturday, we're gonna switch essentially from the map to the King's Palace, let's call it, into annulment, as Marcus said. Annulment is probably one of the most practical tools that you have, that Kabbalist has in his toolkit. If you wanna, it's like a saying, you know, the door to the upper world is very small. You have to be this big to get through it. So annulment is really the key to accessing almost everything. It's almost like a master key. So alongside a few other things, annulment is really one of the main things, and that's why we wanted to really focus on that, really open it up and look at it from different angles, different perspectives, and work with that idea of annulment between us in those circles that Marcus mentioned. I don't know if Tony wanted to say something about annulment before I jump to.
Well, yes, just that we will have spoken about the path to the king's palace, but our diving into annulment is actually putting our foot at the beginning of that path. That's where we walk it. It's in that place in relation to friends. Annulment is the thing that frees love to allow us to feel the greater wholeness, and it's the key. It's really the key to so many of the things that we think of as blocking us or as being impossible or beyond us. And it's something that the heart knows very well. We just have to tease it out so that we understand the simplicity of that process.
Another special thing that's happening in this retreat is that we've arranged for 2 sessions with Michael Sanilevich and Aviu Sofer, 2 friends who are instructors. They're also part of the management of BB. Mushi is the CEO of the Bnei Baruch Association, and we've arranged for 2 sessions that they will give from Israel, virtually to us. One session is going to be on annulment as well, and another session later on Sunday where they're going to talk about the meaning of spiritual management. What does it mean to manage a spiritual organization? What's the vision? How is it set up? Where is it going? We want to really demystify a lot of those things. So if you're coming to the retreat, you know that you're not just students somewhere down a ladder. Well, literally spiritual ladder, but down some corporate ladder. No, this is all friends. You are meeting friends. Some of them you haven't met yet, but there are your friends on the path, from Marcus and myself and Tony and David and you got everyone here, to the friends in Israel that you see on the screen. That we're all aspiring to the same thing. We're all helping each other get there. So I think it's going to be a really special experience to meet those friends. And another important session that we have on Saturday and on Sunday is called Under a Tree. Well, literally, we're going to be sitting under a tree, but it's really the way Kabbalists used to give lessons in the old days, because that's all they had, obviously. But also, it's a very informal setting. You sit, we will be in circles, outdoors, unless it rains, in which case we'll sit indoors. But small groups with an instructor, same thing for the virtual friends, and you're going to have the ability to ask any questions that you will have gathered throughout the retreat, maybe even things you brought from home. We'll try to give as much time for that, and we have it on Saturday and on Sunday. So come prepared, write down questions, bring some. I think we're going to give you some notepads or something, but write down questions. You may not have a chance to ask them in the session as you go through, but write them down. Some will get answered along the way, and if they don't, you bring it to the under a tree. And we close Saturday with a special event, which is hard to put in words. I mean, the first half of it is dinner, which we're also going to use as part of the exercise, as part of this immersion process. It's going to be a dinner where you, I don't want to say too much about it, but we're going to invite you to practice this annulment and to do something for others, maybe before you do for yourself. Okay, if it sounds familiar. It's a little bit like when the plane is going down, you have to put the mask. No, actually, that's the opposite. So the opposite of that. In this case, if the plane is going up, first take care of the friend next to you, and then take care of yourself. Right, Tony? That's the.
I don't know. I'm frightened now.
But it's good. It's gonna be a different dinner, a more internal dinner. It's not just about consuming food, which is important for the body, for for the animate degree, but also an opportunity to taste higher flavors as well on a human level. So that's going to be the dinner, and it's going to be followed by a very special activity between the tens. I don't know how to call it. I don't want to give it names. It's not really a show. It's a happening. You have to be there. You have to be under that the influence of the light, and it's so beautiful. It's so warm. It's so heartfelt. Friends are opening their hearts. It's just, I don't know. It's great. It's music. It's just amazing. So that's Saturday, and Sunday we have time. Yes, we have time. Great. So we'll go for Sunday. So we're going to continue, contemplation as before, going to breakfast, and then we're going to switch gears. And our last session on Sunday is going to be on devotion. What is that devotion? Why is that such an important part of the higher state? And it's not exactly a devotion that you may know from other ideas, other philosophies. Maybe some people know of a religious devotion. This is something a little different. It is a depiction of the relationship with the Creator, with this upper force, but in a way that is new. And we're going to ask ourselves if we were able to take steps toward that. We're going to actually try to feel it, to taste it, identify the places where we're still not there, and where we're going to continue to do some work on. In short, it's going to be a very internal session that's going to bring this entire retreat home, and close with another under tree session for more questions. The last remaining items on Sunday, I can't believe we're getting this all on time. The last few things on Sunday are another mind-blown session on the lineage of Kabbalists. This is something that we realize that many people are just not aware of, that unbroken chain of Kabbalists from Abraham, actually before Abraham, but I think we're going to start from Abraham and take you on a journey through time from Abraham to today. So you will see that when we are sitting here talking to you, it's not us talking to you. We are communicating to you what we received from our teacher, who received from his teacher, who received from his teacher, who received from all the way back to Abraham. Yes, that guy from the Bible. There's an unbroken chain of Kabbalists. So it's quite a ride. And then, as I mentioned, session about the spiritual management, and a closing session that will sort of pack everything that we went through, help us reflect on that, and how to what's that perspective that we gained, and how to not let it break. One last thing, and before if our friends have want to add more things. One last thing is we're also we took great care to introduce throughout the retreat some of the unique music that we use in Kabbalah. Some of you know it already. Some of you it's like what music? So there's songs that you probably heard on different sessions that friends write, but there's also Kabbalistic melodies. We call them nigunim, and some of those are really old. I'm talking a couple of thousand years that Kabbalists have been singing those melodies. Some of them have words. We're going to introduce them throughout the retreat during a meal, during before beginning of a session. So you're going to learn where they come from, what they are speaking about, what they're singing about, what is the emotion they're trying to share, and you'll get we'll get to sing it together, which is an experience in and of itself. So, in other words, I think every sense that you have is going to be stimulated, and all for the with that end goal in mind, to help us reach a higher state. That's the retreat in a nutshell.
Wow, it's great. It's really an achievement that Leo managed to explain all that in the time period that he had allotted to it. But
that's a big nut.
Yeah, you don't know how excited I am. But But still, something that came up as Leo was speaking about all these events at the retreats and lots of words and things coming out. What I really like about what Leo and Tony and everyone working, Johnny, everyone working on the retreat content is that you see even behind me now there's lots of trees with lots of branches. A big thing in the wisdom of Kabbalah is how it describes our whole reality that we perceive corporeally with our five senses as being the branch level of existence, and all kinds of terms and concepts that we learn are branches which connect to spiritual roots, and spiritual roots are completely forces, completely above our whole corporeal perception, above time, space, and motion as we know them. But they get expressions in this branch level of reality, and many of these things that we see in the retreat and a lot of the things that the friends here mentioned and prepare connect to those branches. So you might hear Leo now talk about, for example, a bonfire at the retreat, but even the flame is something that's talked about by Kabbalists. I just want to give an example of it. If we go to this excerpt in the presentation, Barak, so this is an excerpt by Kabbalist Baruch Ashlag, Rabash, who's the teacher and founder of, the teacher of the founder of B'nai Baruch. So he writes that each of them had a spark of love of others. Yeah, so each one of the students, each one of the friends, each one who comes to this wisdom, to spirituality, has this spark called the point in the heart. As we said, that small little cup of desire for spirituality that we have. And so we come with that very small desire for spirituality, but the spark could not ignite the light of love to shine in each. So they agreed that by uniting, the sparks would become a big flame. That's really the essence of what happens at a whole gathering like this, at a retreat, that we each come with this small desire. Each one, if they look within themselves, it might have sounded very pleasant, very beautiful, very lovey-dovey, like what Leo was saying about a lot of these things, but really, if each one looks inside themselves, they'll see that, how is it possible to reach such a lofty quality such as love, bestowal? It seems completely opposite to me. So we might have some kind of attraction to it, and that's enough. That's what the Kabbalists always tell us, that just having that slight attraction to this state of bestowal, to this state of love, to spirituality, even without knowing really what it is, that's enough. As long as we do some kind of effort to come together with those sparks, and then undergo this processing, similar to that workshop we went through and similar to these activities that Leo mentioned. So that's actually what comes into a big flame that's felt not as the bonfire physically that we put on there, but it was really felt in this force that we attract to ourselves during such events, and something that really uplifts everyone in really that most deep, profound part of themselves. And that's something very special. It's something very unique, and it's a spiritual quality and experience that comes to us through such things. Also, another thing Leo mentioned, if we take it back to the beginning, was the path to the king's palace. You mentioned Igal was giving that, so Igal, if you can prepare a few words. What I'll just say as well is all these things about everything that Leo mentioned throughout the retreat, that's all in the document there of preparation material. So, for example, even hearing about the path to the king's palace, it might sound a bit strange, but if you go to the study material, there's a section there called the path to the king's palace, and you have the source allegory there by Kabbalist Yehuda Ashlag Bala Sulam, who's the main Kabbalist who we base the method on here at the B'nai Baruch Kabbalah Education and Research Institute and KabU. So he wrote a whole allegory that explains what that path to the king's palace is. And once again, it's not just that we go and everything just opens up to us, love, bestowal, connection, beautiful things, but the path there is actually a path where that very king, which is an allegory for the creator, that very creator, the upper force, when we have a desire to come closer, actually sends lots of ministers, lots of disturbances along the way, precisely to grow that small spark of desire, that small point in the heart, so that it grows into a fully fledged spiritual desire. And all those resistances we might feel and everything on the way, that actually helps to increase that desire. So maybe Igal, you want to expand on that concept a bit? You'll be giving a whole session about it at the retreat.
The idea of reaching the Creator is growing and expanding in awareness, but not in the direction that we can imagine. It's not something that we can quantify. It happens through a very interesting change that happens within us. So we grow. It's almost like a mystery. It's like uncovering a very interesting, exciting mystery. And it's something that we're not aware of, cannot fantasize, cannot imagine, cannot even think about for ourselves. But when it comes to us, it's very, very different. And we become alive, more alive, or become really alive, because we are the extent of our liveliness is our desire. The more expanded, complex desires that we have, the more we feel, the more we sense in them. So in that respect, we're kind of limited now. But attaining the Creator involves attaining desires, expanding in the direction that we can't even imagine. So this is what it's all about. So one of the aspects of a retreat is expect to change. You're going to come in as one person, and you're going to come out something different, something bigger, but in that particular quality of that awareness of the Creator. So it's a very, very exciting topic, and very very special, unique opportunity that shows itself at retreats.
Question.
Back to you, Mark.
Thanks, Igal. Actually got a question here from Nika, a student. So maybe we'll give this one over to Alex. You ready? So Nika's asking here in YouTube, since spirituality is above the physical world, could it be the physical actions are more of a distraction than help in the spiritual progress? For example, when Leo said, what's the meaning of a very internal dinner? Like what's an internal dinner? And can you relate to that?
Oh, wow. No, I like this question because it brings me back to all the interviews Rav did about the internet and explaining the virtual system as like a model for us. So where we go from physical world to the virtual world, to the internet, to the spiritual world, as if. So the virtual world is already, the internet's already got us connected somehow, more or less equally, right? Like on Zoom, everybody's got their little box. And so it's already sort of a model. It's pointing us towards spirituality, where we're more equal and we're thinking less about physical things. So, but there's a certain problem here, because the method started on the physical realm before the internet. So a lot of students come to it not physically. Like I, for example, was driving by a center in San Francisco and I saw the sign and I walked in and I knocked on the door, and it's very rare to find the method physically, or somebody gives you a book. Now everybody finds the method already virtually. So then you're sort of skipping the physical foundation. So you're already starting virtually, which is somewhat closer to spirituality, and then you're trying to get to spirituality, but you're missing the physical foundation. So this way, if you're lucky enough to have a group of people around you in the same area, then like we had for many years, we used to have many groups in various, actually most countries, in all the major cities, right? There's like groups of Kabbalists that gather. But so they have the physical foundation, and then we can reconnect virtually, and then we're heading to spirituality. So this is even like in the business world, like when you're making a deal, sales folks have to sell something. It's like you can't sell something like cold, virtually. You have to meet somebody first, look them in the eyes, shake their hand, then you can get on the phone, right? But the physical aspect is, it creates so much more sensation. But here, like during your example, you're saying for dinner, for a meal, a Kabbalistic meal, which we do in accordance with, in the tradition of our teachers, like a Rabash meal, we call it, right? It could be like a silent meal, where we read an excerpt and we read, and for a few minutes, Everyone's just thinking, trying to connect in thoughts, trying to feel the food through the taste of the friend. So it's not about, you know, what you're feeling, what you're tasting. It's how are the friends getting fulfilled. And then even in the preparation to the meal, what makes it even more internal is that if you participate in the preparation of that meal, say you volunteered for, you know, to help make breakfast, to help serve it, how much you're invested in it. This is your chance to really give. This is so it's not about the fanciness of the meal. It's about being in the same action together, serving each other, and trying to taste the food and feel this common fulfillment from all the friends. So it's not. So that's sort of what makes it more internal, is that it's your feeling. It's the feeling in the heart, and that the friends are getting fulfilled. That they're feeling the love from you during the meal, and not that we're there just animalistically trying to fulfill ourselves.
Look, we've got another question. David, I'll send this one over to you. Jewel Dehan is asking on Facebook. She said, when it is said that the retreat, when it said that there's a year's worth of advancement in the 3 days of a retreat, how is that even tracked or made note of for any one individual? Yeah, because this is something that Kabbalist Dr. Michael Laitman has often talked about, how at an event like a retreat or a convention or a congress, when we come together with all the means for spiritual progress in one place, so we can literally make a year's worth of spiritual advancement that if we were studying individually for that same amount of time. So David, can you elaborate on that? She's specifically asking, how do you even track such a thing like that, or how do you even make note of that for an individual?
Yeah, well, I don't know exactly how you track it, but I know from experience of being there that it makes a huge difference, because we're putting ourselves, kind of like putting ourselves in a pressure cooker. We're so close to everything that we talk about, everything that we learn, and maybe we have a few lessons a week or whatever our schedule is with the study, but here we're 3 days together, we're eating together, we're sleeping, not sleeping together, but we're in the same, buildings, the same grounds, we're all staying there together, we're eating together, we're serving each other, we're workshopping together. We're doing everything together for 3 days. It's so intense. And it really, like when you go there, like at home, like I'm here with you guys, and then as soon as this is over, I have a bunch of other things to take care of. I have a lot of distractions. When we're there, you're kind of closing the world off for 3 days. You melt into this environment, like we're hearing about this annulment. It's like it really helps us to like annul ourselves there and integrate into the environment, which is absolutely everything. As we learn, the only chance that we have is then put ourselves in the environment and let it shape us, like they say, like clay in the hands of the potter. Alone we can't do it. And that's what happens there. It takes us, like you see, there's this progression that they spoke about of the retreat, and we put ourselves in it, and it takes us through these stages. And as some friends have said, when we go in and we come out something different, because it takes us through the stage. It works with the desire of others, works with your desire, it works with the reforming light. It's that influence, it's the drawing the light. When we enter it and we come out something new. And it happens to us studying here. I mean, we're all connecting, we're all drawing light, but there it's just everything's intensified. It's just a strong environment.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Look, a very practical question here from Clotilde, also on the live page, asked when and how much and where. So that's something I can answer. So when is something I actually didn't mention before. You should be seeing it on the advertising there, but it's September 5 to 7. That's a Friday to Sunday. It's exactly 18 days, 13 hours, 16 minutes, and 0 seconds away from now. So that's also there in the countdown. That's when. Where, it's in person and both virtually. So, Barak's showing the screen. So where in person, look, you can see here, it says here, even here, travel. It's in Catskill Mountains in in America.
Iroquois Springs.
Iroquois Springs is the exact place there, and you have here the maps to it and how to get there, ways, etc. That's physically. So if you can go physically, it's definitely a great experience. If you can't go physically, so then it's also taking place virtually. And it's not just that it's just broadcast virtually. Virtually is a whole experience. This actually starts connecting to another question Laurie sent about, I'd like more information as how to better prepare, participate in the remote, like the virtual gathering, in order to connect better. So first understand that the virtual participation in the retreat is a full retreat, and there's many things that are done in order to really give a very rich virtual experience, from having virtual guides there to having all the same sessions at the physical retreat happening virtually. For example, when there's that under the tree session, so you have your own little groups virtually. When there's the bonfire, the screens are even brought out to the fire and people are connecting both physically and virtually. There's lots of things that are done to really make it a very hybrid experience. So understand that by connecting virtually, you're really connecting fully to the retreat, and it's an amazing experience. And together with that, we also mentioned how you can prepare. This is part of the preparation, by the way, going through the schedule, understanding the general themes, showing you the schedule online, and having you have access to preparation material. Go through those source excerpts, start reading them, start seeing how all these things that Leo mentioned, they all have deep spiritual roots. And by starting to learn these things, we get into them more and more. And one thing we'll get to now is, since we're heading into the last 15 minutes, we'll try to squeeze in one more workshop round. Might go over time a little bit. But before that, once again, I'll just mention that tomorrow is the end of the early bird pricing, where that covers your question for how much. If we go just down here as well, we'll see the pricing table. That makes it as clear as day. So early bird is only until tomorrow, so you already get $100 off the full price. After tomorrow, starting Tuesday, August the 19th, it'll become $4.99 in person and $149 virtually, whereas for the very next day it's $99 virtually and $3.99 in person. And if you use the coupon code in the chat and in the description of both YouTube and Facebook, now there's a coupon code there. So if you use that at checkout, you'll get another 10% off on whatever the price is here. So that's also open just for the next day as well, that coupon code. And if you register now in the next 14 minutes, so you also go in the draw to get a full refund. We'll draw one person who's registered during this event at the very end, and you'll be able to get a full refund on your retreat ticket, because we really want to make this as open as possible for many people. We understand that spirituality, the goal is often very amorphous. It doesn't seem like something so tangible, but that's why, especially when you come together at an event like this, and just like David was mentioning now, that you just come to 2 or 3 days of an event like this, and the amount of advancement you make through the connection with everyone who has these desires coming together and working on them is really immense. And just by coming to an event like that, just by doing the efforts to put your foot in the door without really being too clear on what's going on, you'll see what a click there is suddenly of this spiritual force that enters your life. It's really quite amazing. So with that in mind, there's just one clip we want to show, and then we'll go into just another workshop round where everyone can prepare themselves for the workshop now, where we'll talk about an unforgettable experience you've each had at a retreat. Leo mentioned many events, many things taking place, or maybe it's in relation to one of them, or maybe it's just something more in general. Prepare yourselves also to speak, within the range of a minute, so try to speak a bit quicker than usual. And now we'll go into a clip. This clip's actually something that 2 TENs worked on, and it came together as one clip. 2 TENs in KabU. They put together this material, and now we have it here as all kinds of students in KabU who are registered to the retreat, going to the retreat, and who just want to inspire you to do the same. So let's watch this clip. It's actually the first time we're watching this specific version of the clip ever. So we'll go up with this student video. Yeah.
We're here to talk to you about this incredible opportunity. With KabU, we have a retreat from September 5th to 7th in the Catskills in New York.
And when you go, you don't come home the same person.
What made me decide to go there was wanting to connect as much as I could with other like-minded people.
Connecting with all these friends over the screen. I would like to see them in person. I would like to meet the instructors and feel this connection.
For 3 days, and it's absolutely amazing, and the connection just never stops. And if you're like me, you won't stop smiling for like till you leave.
One of the most transformative, magical, heart-opening experiences. It was so impactful.
Really what made me take the leap was I had developed these relationships with all these people on the screen on Zoom, and I really wanted to take it to that next level.
That's what happens at a retreat. You get with people who are really interested in other people, and they want to know how we can make a good connection with one another.
When I went to my first retreat, it was such an amazing experience that not only was that just wonderful.
Almost impossible to describe it, so that's another reason to come and join us. So if you can physically, that's ideal. If not, virtually is great too. So hope to see you there.
You just can't miss it once you start.
So we're prompting you to come find out for yourself. Don't take anybody's word for it. This path is real, and I think you won't be disappointed in the answers you find.
Okay, so in the remaining time, we're going to have a workshop round once again. Now it's going to be describe an unforgettable moment that you experienced at a past KabU retreat. So we'll already get it started this time with Ruth. Go ahead.
Okay, I hope my sound's okay, and then less muffled. I couldn't say anything about it, but it was difficult because I was diving in to think about. There's so many of them, and I have had the privilege to actually participate in 4 retreats in person. So, and then I saw, and I had like a moment that I wanted to share, and then I saw the clip that they played at the beginning when we just started the session here on YouTube, and it was like, wow, that's footage from the first retreat that happened in the Poconos after many years that a retreat hadn't happened in North America. They used to have a few of them way back when, and besides the congresses that we have. And I saw the footage there, and it was just like, it really, in all the faces, and it just, that clip really shook me up and brought up very, very powerful impressions, all that it was just really good, positive energy, that was generated there, that field with all these like-minded people gathering together, these like-minded desires. So just like, I'm just talking about the clips, the opening. I was going to talk about something else, but then I saw that and it just kicked in so many things from that first experience that I had to meet so many great people from all over that was in the Poconos in Pennsylvania, and just so powerful. And yeah, go ahead, Tony.
Campfire. This was a few years ago. Campfire is its own event, but it's also an integration time. And I remember there was some sharing. People were sharing their hearts, and the energy was building. And the person who was there for the first time, a woman, didn't have any words, and she just wanted to sing, but not words. She just wanted to sing a melody. And she began singing. And I remember smoke going up, her voice going up, looking up at the sparks, sort of mixing in the stars, and it went from her voice to the voice of the Shekhinah, like the upper light joining with us. The sense of harmony through the connection of the friends there was stunning. It just shook me to my boots, and it was beautiful. Danielle.
Yeah, for me, the Saturday evening happening, how Leo said it. I'm not going to say much about what it is, but um, where we really work together in tents, and that's the first time that you really physically work together with the tent instead of Zoom. So that was really great. And then also see what other tents made. Wow, that was so amazing. Like what you said before, sparks becoming one flame. It really felt there at that happening. Beautiful. Alex?
Thanks, Danielle. Way too many moments, but I'm thinking of one of my first experiences, and I signed up with a friend from my group from my tent. We signed up to work in the kitchen during a lesson, and we were really frustrated that we were missing a lesson. We really wanted to catch the lesson, but it was on in the speakers in the background. But we were preparing and setting the tables, and then when it was time to come out and then see all the tables filled with all the friends, and we were looking at each other, and we were like, you could see we were tearing up. We had this like we were crying, like tears of joy, of the gratitude that we had the chance, to actually participate, and we knew we were gonna watch the lesson later, recorded. We knew, and that was okay. Like, we realized then that that's okay, because that frustration we had when we were in the kitchen and we're missing the lesson, like, are we in the right place? All of that was just cleared up, and we just, with those tears of joy, we were looking at each other. We're still wearing like the apron and the gloves, and we walked out looking at each other like, wow, this was right. This was everything is exactly perfect, run by the Creator. Pass it to Ella, who I met at the last retreat. She registered me.
Thank you. As I expected, everyone will start to talk about fire, a bonfire, because it's amazing. It's just fire in the dark, songs, sparks, moon. But I probably open a secret. It's also a booze. But I want to tell about something else. When we leave on Sunday, when we start to leave, I suddenly understood how different I am from one day that I came after a day that I'm leaving. I leaving my friends, people who in my heart already, who are like a family for me. It was a lot of tears, but it's a big excitement. It's a past. It's really for me. It's really for together with those friends that I met. Igaldis.
Thanks, Ella. I was actually going to say what you said, but since you already said it, I'm going to have to say something else. But definitely, you come out I'm still going to emphasize it. You come out a completely different person. So this is the overall sensation. This is the highlight. But I can one actual experience, many, of course, but one experience was on the morning walk around the lake. And, it was early morning and everybody's kind of tired, still waking up. And then we start walking, and you literally feel like you're not walking in the physical space. You're walking in the spiritual space. Like, you're walking with your legs, but then also somehow parallel to that, you're connecting with the friends, you're connecting with nature, you're connecting with the Creator. And then we were at this spot, we stopped to talk, and you look at the lake, you look at everything, and you almost melted into everybody. You melted into the friends, you melted into the lake. And then one friend says, "Wow, we're all one." He vocalized it. He just felt it, and he wasn't afraid to say it. And I was like, yeah. So it's just that connection and the feeling and the awareness of the Creator that comes out. It's unbelievable. Thank you, Prince. Tom.
Yeah, thank you, Igal. For me, I don't have one specific thing that I remember because it always comes back, and the same day, the same hour. I already know it now, because we go through so many states and there's so much light, and you're not used to it. I always have that moment. Oh no, I want to go home. I have to go home. And first time, my first retreat, someone saw it, and he gave me the first thing. He had a psalm book, and he said, "Go to your room, read one page, and then think why you're here. Just think why you're here." And I just followed his advice, and yeah, I'm not here for myself, and I came back, and it's always right before the meal on Saturdays. So I was lucky that it's always then. So yeah, you come back and you think, yeah, I'm here for the friends, not for myself. And then a whole other world opens, and that's the great thing about those things. About the retreat, you cannot hide. You have to go through it, and then you see an opposite world, and that's a beautiful thing. Sagar, have you spoken?
Not yet. Thanks. For me, it was actually virtual, and then I also went to physical congresses as well. But the virtual was there were workshops, and I was with men who were we were doing the workshops. But after that, there was a break, and there was a song. So slowly, everyone started nodding their heads, and then everyone started singing. You could see from the screen that they were singing, and it felt. Uh, it was different because those men would probably not sing on the street, or if they go to other events, they probably would not sing like that, and you could just tell and see you could see them and tell that they wouldn't do that in normal life. And for me, this was that for them the connection mattered, and it was just spontaneous, and it was pure connection. So that's something that stood out for me. David, please.
Yeah, thank you. I don't have one specific thing. I was thinking about just the event itself, physically being together for 3 days, 2 days, 3 days, whatever the event is. And most of you here I've been in a physical event with. And it's interesting how you go through that together. And it's like the friends just find a place in your heart. And it's like they're with you forever. They're just in you after you go through that. And then where you're at after that, they're always there. You just come, I don't know, it's just a beautiful thing.
Hasn't spoken yet?
I think I was last, right?
You were last. Dree.
Yeah. Sorry, Dree.
Okay. Unforgettable moments, I would have to say, would be the first time that I went to the retreat with the idea, the intention to melt into this environment that we have, and to just try to melt into the friends and what we're doing. And of course, all kinds of resistances popped up, and I put to practice, what they had said in class, and desired to go above those feelings, and to kind of push the opposite way, and to give more and serve more and do all the activities with joy. And by the end of the retreat, I no longer felt like myself. I wasn't this person that liked the color green and hates onions, but I was this larger thing. There was this group, and it wasn't even just the physical group that was there, but all the friends on Zoom too. So just could feel all the love and giving from the whole group. It's very beautiful and completely unforgettable. Back to you, Marcos.
Yeah,
Leo.
thanks, Dre. Yeah, really, that's the point. That you also want to say
No,
something?
no. I after this, no.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dre hit it at the head there, really at the end, that you really go there, and as much as there's other friends, or you could say students, instructors, all this thing, it's really everyone who comes there with this tiny desire for spirituality. It's actually something really great. And then you just feel like there's something very small in the presence of something very great and big and immense and profound that words simply can't reach. You know, in the very beginning of the study of the 10 Sfirot, it's a text we're now studying in the daily Kabbalah lessons with Rav Leitman. So there he also talks about how spirituality is beyond the mind's reach. So that's always something. This is always where it's very hard on one hand to describe it, because you're trying to use language and words to describe some kind of place, sensation beyond the physical, beyond time, space, motion, beyond our five senses grasp. And on the other hand, there is a very special feeling that comes about from these things. So that's why we do all these efforts to raise the importance and to inspire. And that's also why I'm going to refresh this browser window over here to see who's going to win this free retreat ticket of who's registered at this event. And I'm going to do it now. And it's congratulations to Jewel Dehan. So you get a full cash back on your retreat ticket. So yeah, really good going.
This is the soundtrack. Way to go, Jules.
Yeah, way to go, Jewel. Way to go, Barak, for picking up that soundtrack too. And yeah, we're a bit over time, but right now as well, I'll just remind one more time that another 24 plus a little bit hours left for the early bird discount. Again, in addition to the early bird discount, if you're still on the fence of joining. So we've got this coupon code in the chat and the description of this video. So if you use that coupon code, you get an extra 10% off the early bird discount. So really, it's like now's the best time to...
I want to say it has to do with a question that someone, I think Nika, asked about the physicality. Why do we need this if we're going to the spiritual world? We're in the world of asiya, doing. This is the world of action. And our feet are planted here, and so we have to start from here. As Alex said, this is the foundation. The ladder is placed on this level, and then you got to climb it. But you have to have this solid foundation. If it's only abstract ideas and thoughts and just just feelings without an experience, it's just mysticism. It's not rooted in an actual experience, and the best actual experience is that experience, the physical experience, where so many things happen, where the intensity of the connection can be felt, where the changing of the states can happen much quicker. So the retreat is really, it's an opportunity. It's not an event. I can tell you, we can be very transparent with you. It's not some big marketing event with lots of money that goes into it and comes out of it. It's a lot of work for a lot of people. All of them are volunteering in order to create this opportunity, because we all feel how important it is to have it and to give it to other students, other friends. I don't know if next year we'll have an event. We had 3 years of COVID. There was no event, so I wouldn't make a calculation of maybe I'll try this, then next year. Don't wait. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We think we know. We have no clue what's going to happen tomorrow. If the Creator gives you an opportunity, go all in with it. Try it out. The worst thing that could happen is that you'll realize faster that maybe this is not for you. But at least you won't spend another year trying to figure it out. The retreat is going to give you a really, really well-rounded experience. So that's my appeal to you.
Thanks, Leo. Yeah, so, thank you. Thanks everyone for joining. As I said, we're way over time. One last announcement is that we're also now going into a 50-minute or so live Q&A on Zoom for everyone who's a KabU member. So if you want to join that, you just need to go to the live page at kabuconnect.com/live and click on the Zoom link. If you're not a KabU member, so through that you can also join KabU and then join that Zoom there. And we look forward to seeing you there. And everyone who's on the panel now, if I haven't told you already, you're all welcome to join that Zoom as well. So that's a different Zoom to this one that you're in. So feel free to come to that. So thanks everyone, and it's been great being with you, and look forward to seeing you at the retreat. See you later.
Past and tomorrow.